Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, where you need to do your banking. Well, the LSU Tigers have made it hard on themselves. They basically beat themselves in losing to UCLA 2-1. Give credit to the Bruins. They played their game and played it very well, pitched well and caught the ball. And Lenny, LSU did nothing of the sort.
LSU did everything they didn't need to do in this game. Hit fly balls in a cavernous ballpark, not make defensive plays, let the leadoff man get on base, not get the leadoff man on themselves, and just everything. If you made a checklist of everything that LSU needed to stay away from in this game, in this scenario, they probably failed in every one of those accounts, with the exception of the pitching of Aaron Nola, who was solid. He has not given up an earned run in the NCAA tournament yet, but he gets hung with his first loss of the season.
Well, this is a team that looked like they had not been there before, which, in fact, is the case. They had not been there before, and maybe there's something to that.
I think so. I mean, Palmineri's been there. Skip Bertman's been there. These guys can talk about things until they're blue in the face, but at the same time, these guys have not gone on that stage and played. And there's something to be said for going out there and actually experiencing something when you're facing a team in UCLA that's there for the third time in 4 years, facing a pitcher who is 5-0 all time in the NCAA tournament.
Much made of the decision in the ninth inning not to bunt Rafe Rhymes. Truth be told, he had not laid down a sacrifice bunt all season long. It's not the way LSU plays. It's an easy second guess, and yes, maybe you could have done so. Count was 2-0 at the time, and I was thinking more in terms of show bunt again and take a pitch. Bottom line is it could be ball 3, and if not, 2-1. That's a good pitch to hit.
I think you bring up a good point, but these second guessers out there, Palmineri gets paid a lot of money to first guess, okay? And as I saw someone write, Palmineri has forgotten more baseball probably than we all know. He is a very good baseball coach. The man has won a national championship. He's been to Omaha plenty of times. He knows what he's doing. And he knows to put his team in the best situation to win in that particular count, 2-0. He did show bunt the first 2 pitches. They were both balls. I think you bring up a great point, maybe trying to take a strike in that situation. But, I don't have a big problem with him swinging away. Everything, the stars aligned perfectly for UCLA in that situation. The ball was hit right at the third baseman, was hit sharply. If it's a softly hit ground ball and Katz gets to second, it ends up being the same thing. And even with that, even with the things that happened beyond that, LSU still probably wouldn't have scored a run because that fly ball to end the game was pretty shallow. I don't think you send Katz on that if the bases had been loaded. So, it's still in all, it's not I don't have a problem with the decision.
No, they had opportunities. They simply did not take advantage. So now they must win 4 consecutive games to get out of their pod and get to the National Championship Series. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. They were able to get out of the losers bracket of the SEC tournament against outstanding competition. But they now have to face the number 1 national seed in North Carolina, a team that swings the bats well but didn't hit well in their first game either against North Carolina State.
We talked about it last week. Carlos Rodon may be the best pitcher in Omaha. Jonathan Gray was the number 3 overall pick, could have been number 1, who LSU saw a week ago at the box. Carlos Rodon may be the number 1 pick in the draft this time next year. He was sensational. And what's interesting to me is all of the home teams were either the national seeds or by coin flip or whatever ended up being the home teams in their situations. But the 3 national seeds that got to Omaha are all 0-1. And Louisville, the perceived favorite on paper, if you will, against Indiana, they're 0-1. So what have we seen thus far? 4 surprises, I guess.
I guess indeed. So stay tuned Tuesday, of course, the next game in the afternoon against North Carolina. Ed Daniels is there covering for SportsNola.com. You can read his daily blogs at SportsNola.com and follow our stories as well and our tweets on a regular basis concerning the LSU Tigers. Well, the New Orleans Zephyrs are hot. They've won 4 straight games, all on the road. Conclude their road trip in Nashville on Monday. Head home to open a homestand, an 8-gamer on Tuesday. So they reached that 500 mark, and they're playing good baseball.
Yeah, and a chance to get out and see some baseball here for the next 8 days, starting on Tuesday. It's a Tuesday to Tuesday series. You like night baseball. You get a little bit of everything. The way the Zephyrs do things. You got a little bit of something different every day of the week. Well, an 8-game homestand, you've got your choice of whatever it is you'd like to do out at the ballpark.
And the Voodoo getting a win. They built a big lead and then held on to beat Tampa Bay at home this past Saturday night as they continue to play better and find themselves still just one game out of the playoffs based upon the configuration. And they're home again on Saturday night against San Antonio.
And a familiar name will be a quarterback for San Antonio, perhaps. He started this week. Rohan Davey is the starting quarterback there. Second former LSU quarterback to come to town with an arena football team this year.
Yep, it should be fun to watch where that is concerned as well. Of course, you can read about the latest in recruiting. Tulane with a couple of commitments this past weekend from kids in South Louisiana. Check it out at sportsnola.com. Lenny, as always, thanks. Have a great week.
Yeah, we'll see you later this week.
That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank. 31 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great week and God bless.